What's up, everybody? Welcome back to an episode of The Fake Philosophers. I'm Mike. With me today is Danny.
Yep, that's my name.
That is your name.
Thank you for not blinking it this time.
Yep.
Yep. It's an honor to be back, Mike.
Anyway, today we're going to talk about the Boba Fett show, the Book of Boba Fett. Spoilers. Say it right now.
Abound,
with spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, get to it. This is going to air probably a week or two after the final episode, so you've had time. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it.
Okay. So like, are we talking about the whole show?
I would say the show is yes, as one big piece.
Okay. So I mean, first things first, like I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good, like picking up point for Boba Fett. Especially after he was, reintroduced in Mando season 2. Yeah, I mean, I hear like, because I'm part of the zeitgeist. People are like ripping it apart in forums and whatnot, saying that this isn't like this Boba Fett isn't their Boba Fett. And it honestly it bugs me because they're basing the character of Boba Fett, the one that they know, the one that they love, off 5 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, and I mean, there's an argument to be made about the extended universe, which is now Legends.
Yeah, Legends.
There's something to be said, like, well, we like that guy, the one that we knew in that. So I understand like the disappointment, but
yeah,
it is a new character. It's another universe. Like it's
well,
not...
I mean, so the one thing that like Dave Filoni and Happy Hogan, what the fuck is his name?
Wow.
Yeah. Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Yes. The one thing that Filoni and Favreau are really good at is taking those bits and pieces of the Star Wars Legends
and including
or the expanded universe,
and
folding it back in. But they didn't kind of go that way with Boba Fett. And like, I get it. I understand it. I'm not mad about it. I think it's like this guy who only got into bounty hunting because it's what his dad did. It's what he was like bred to do. And then he ultimately finds, like, he explains it's like he's sick of, getting paid to do everybody's dirty work.
Yeah.
And he like, he comes out of that Sarlacc pit born again.
Literally.
Yeah. Then, finds a surrogate family in the Sand People.
Yes.
Comes
Which sounds racist every time we say it, but
who you calling Sand People? And I mean, it's I think it's a great kind of rebirth story for Boba Fett. Like he's still the badass we remember. It's just like he's got a soft spot now. That's fine. That makes him that makes him a dynamic character.
And I know because a lot of people, their arguments were, I think even our friend Derek Murray pointed out like, oh, I don't want to be a killer anymore as he's killing people.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, that's true, but I don't think he ever said like, I don't want to be a killer.
I don't want
to kill for people.
For people, yeah.
So I work in metaphors a lot, as you know. The way my criticism of the show is sort of, obviously we didn't do it on the show, but we've talked like Captain America: Civil War. My criticism of that, and I loved that movie, don't get me wrong, I loved it. But my criticism of that is that you could call that Iron Man 4 Civil War.
Yeah.
And it would be the same movie because he's just as important as Captain America in that movie. He's in it, I think, I looked at the screen time, I think he's in it just as much as Captain America, if not more. And you can make the argument that his character, we're not going to argue Civil War right now. I'm just saying, if you
I was going to say, that's a contract thing for Robert Downey Jr.
I know, but my point is like, and people said like, why not call that Avengers Civil War? You had everyone in it. And like I said, Iron Man's Stark's story arc in that, in my opinion, is better than Captain America's as far as a character evolving. Yeah. So all that said, as a metaphor, this one, it was the Mandalorian show again. Like he came in mid-season and took that shit over.
Now, okay, so what I want to, like, because, like, I get it, like, they did it, it's fine. I feel, though, they didn't have to.
But that's my point, is that they could, I think, and this is like, what is it, Monday morning quarterbacking. Like, I think they should have just left him out of it. Because as soon as Baby Yoda came in, Grogu, he took, everyone's like, oh yeah, he's back. And no one gave a fuck about Boba anymore. Yeah. And so that's where I was like, hold on to your character. Because I think the idea of Boba Fett, it's like the story of a bartender who's sick of bartending, so he opens his own bar. I actually like that story of like, I'm done doing this shit. I'm going to be boss man.
Yeah.
I'm done being told what to do.
Yeah.
And so Jabba the Hutt, his power space is open. Like, cool.
Yeah.
I think that was a good idea. But then bringing the Mandalorian and giving the Mandalorian like 2 full episodes, it just, whatever momentum you were building, just kind of stopped.
Yeah. If you're Tamura Morrison at that point, are you just going like, what? I can't carry a show? Is that what you're like not so subtly telling me?
Yeah. And the thing is, and I know we've chatted about this, I think either A, they should have just went balls in on Boba Fett, and maybe the Mandalorian appeared in that final episode.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here to have your back.
Yeah.
Or Mandalorian season 3, where you start off with, because he pretty much, you see where he went directly after.
Yeah.
So you start there, and then you go through his things, and then at the end of an episode, what's her name? I always forget her name. Boba Fett's assistant.
Fennec.
She shows up like she did at that station on Tatooine and says, "We need your help." So it's still the Mandalorian story, and then the next episode could be a quick flashback of what Boba Fett's been up to instead of the Mandalorian, because then it would be a quick recap of what he's doing. Because that Sand People episode, I know it was kind of over a couple episodes, but like that whole story was dope.
Yeah, it was great.
It's like you could see a little bit of that about and blah 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 blah. You don't really need to, in my opinion, to see him coming out of the Sarlacc pit, because like you kind of, obviously he did.
Well, I mean, you have to show it just for storytelling, but you don't spend a lot of time,
That's
as much
what
time
I
on it
mean.
as they
Yeah,
did. Yeah,
it's kind of like Spider-Man and Uncle Ben. Like you don't need to show that anymore. Or
you just,
Batman and
you show the
stuff,
hand coming out of the sand. That's enough.
Yeah, and so I think instead of doing Boba's story with then 2 episodes of Mandalorian, they could have easily just made it Mando season 3, seeing what he's up to, because his story is really dynamic too. Then you bring Boba Fett in, get his back, take 1 episode to get what he's been up to, and then you push forward together, and it's still the Mandalorian
Season
episode,
3,
or call it the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And so it's both of them.
Yeah. So the way I looked at this is like it's called the Book of Boba Fett, because I think it's essentially a long chapter in the Book of the Mandalorian.
Okay, that's an argument to be made.
Yeah, and I think
I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, I think it's like it's the centerfold in the Book of the Mandalorian.
It's almost like if you watched the Bible Part 1, the Bible Part 2, Book of Ezekiel.
Yeah, Book of Ezekiel, Revelations. Yeah, it's just it's a smaller chapter.
That's actually a way to put it.
A larger chapter in the Book of the Mandalorian. Yeah.
But as far as the content, because like I said, my main criticism was I think they just formatted it wrong.
Yes.
In a sense. But as far as the actual content, I didn't have a problem with it.
No, the content was great. And like everything short of, because I will say Tamura Morrison's not like a great actor.
He's not, but he doesn't need to be.
He doesn't need to be. Exactly.
He doesn't need to be.
But like the writing, the directing, the camera work, like there were a lot of like subtle like homages to like whenever like they get like a guest director like Robert Rodriguez.
Sure.
Like you can see the shit like, oh, that was in Desperado. That fall was in Desperado, or that shot right there.
Every director has their
things, and like I love those little trademarks.
Kind of like when Tarantino's episode, just Ahsoka's feet all over the place.
all over the place. Yep. Even her feet have little head tails. It's great. But like, no, and I love that. Like when Bryce Dallas Howard directed her episode, like you can tell, okay, this is definitely this has her trademarks all over it.
And you know what? It's kind of dope that because she's directed a few episodes right now, right? In the different series.
Yeah. I think this was her 3rd time directing.
And I think a lot of people are kind of like, she's kind of a better director than an actress.
Yeah.
Like, not that she's a bad actress.
She's a great actress.
But I mean, not that she's a bad actress, but it's kind of like, oh, you kind of might be onto something.
Well, I mean, look who her dad is. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Yeah.
But no, I mean, there was very, very few things that I did not like, in this show. And I honestly, I think it's just a lot of, so the problem is it's nerd hate. And 2, it's Star Wars nerd hate, and we know how Star Wars nerds can be when they don't get what they want.
Yes, we've learned that.
But like as like its own, like take the Star Wars out of it. I love the Western vibe that it gives off.
Yeah.
It's just so good. Like they don't even need to like put it on Tatooine. That just kind of reinforces the Western vibe.
Yeah.
But you can put it on any planet, and it's just like, oh, it's so good.
Because even the Mandalorian, before, like when he's not even on Tatooine, it's still kind of very Western. Esque. And yeah, no, I thought it was great. And I think to kind of go back to your point with the irrational hate, because we saw, so we're gonna go off topic for a second, but like this started, in my opinion, kind of with The Force Awakens, kind of, because people were like, "Yo, you're just rehashing the first movie," which they kind of did, but it was fine. It was fan service.
Yeah.
Then it was The Last Jedi that really like they started coming out, because I didn't like The Last Jedi, but it wasn't because they didn't do what I wanted them to do. It was because I thought their story had issues.
It didn't make sense.
Yeah, I think their stories had issues, and I think they were onto something, and then they just didn't follow through with it. I thought, which is funny, a lot of people are like, people don't like that movie because they took risks and they didn't like it. And my argument was, I'm mad that they didn't take a risk. I thought they played it safe. Anyway, so my criticisms of it aren't that I was mad that I didn't get to see what I wanted. It was just that I thought the story could have been better. And then, I mean, fuck, the Rise of Skywalker was just a mess.
Yeah, well, when you have to retcon
Yeah.
like the entire franchise.
So that's what, and even the Rise of Skywalker, like there's parts that I enjoyed, but like you can approach it and criticize it rationally, not because you just didn't get to see what you wanted.
Yeah.
And I think that's now pouring into this, because like I do have criticisms of the Book of Boba Fett, but like they're not just because like, oh, he's not my Boba.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, oh, like I think this could have worked better or something like that. But you do have these idiots who come out like, I hated Endgame because I wanted Tony Stark to live. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
No, you don't get to dictate the way a person's story goes. Like, imagine if Game of Thrones fans were like that.
I mean, some are.
Some were, but you know what I mean? Like,
But that's because they don't understand.
storytelling.
Yeah. And it's like people die, man. Like, it happens. The world is shit.
Well, even so, I remember. I'm gonna mention it 1,000 more times the more episodes we do. The Departed is a great example of this. So
Yeah.
I remember when I watched that movie, the scene where Leo gets capped.
Spoilers.
If you haven't seen it by now, that scene where Leo gets capped coming out of the elevator in theater, I was like, "Whoa!"
What?
I was like, "Whoa!"
What?
Because you expect like a character like that to have a big dramatic death, like a big scene, like Jack Nicholson's character did.
Yeah.
But it was just pow, and he was dead.
Done. Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, "Oh my god!" And at first, I was like,
Especially because he gives the boss line right before. It's like, I am killing you.
Yeah.
And then ding. Poof.
It was not, you don't even see the guy. You just pop, he's dead.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, whoa. And at first I was like, that's fucking bullshit. Like he was about to win. And then I was like, this is real life.
Yeah.
You don't get your way.
You don't get your way. Yeah.
Like
the
that-
good guy doesn't always win.
Yeah. And it wasn't drawn out.
Yeah. It was just, it's done. It's over.
It's because
That's
that,
it.
and even when I still watch that scene, I just love it because you don't even see the guy with the gun.
Yeah.
Just him coming out of the elevator, pop, he's dead.
Dead.
And even Matt Damon's like, oh fuck, like he's like, whoa. And so that's my point though, like that happens. Like your good guy characters don't always win. And granted, that's not how Boba Fett worked, but like you as a fan don't get to dictate what the character does.
Yeah.
Just because you want him to, because that's not how it works in real life. Like, granted, we're all in relationships now and we're happy, but like when I was single, I can't get mad that every girl doesn't like me.
I mean, you can.
I mean, you can, but you're one of those guys like fucking women. But like, it's to me, it's kind of like that. It's like you don't get to dictate how other people act or
Yeah.
do things, and that's with Boba Fett. I kind of like the story of him trying to become a crime lord, and if you didn't like it, that's fine. But like, you can't get so mad that you don't like it because like you don't dictate what he does.
Yeah. No,
Anyway.
I mean, I think we kind of hit the nail on the head where it was just like, yeah, he was tired of what he was doing. It's the bartender that opens his own bar because he's tired of being
Yeah,
the underling, the employee.
Yeah.
He wants to take a shot at being the boss. And I think that was a great call. It makes sense. And he totally has the means to do it.
especially you got to put yourself in his shoes, like the bartender metaphor. If I'm bartending for a guy and I don't have a stake in the business, and then one night like a fight breaks out and I get my jaw broken by some guy at the bar and a bottle thrown and like it cut my arm, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing this for?
Yeah.
This dude went down in the Starlight Pit and almost got digested.
He was digested for 5 years.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay, I that part I was a little I wasn't sure about that, but like, yeah, so this dude barely survived that. You think he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm just gonna go back to what I was doing? Like this got him fucked. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like you're not gonna go back to that. You're gonna be different.
Well, probably not 5 years because how would he survive? It was probably like a couple days.
That's it, yeah. It was some time, but
Yeah.
it could have been an hour.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Who knows in that fresh hell?
awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where like when people are like that doesn't make sense. It's like no, it makes perfect sense. If you're at any job, you're teaching.
Yeah.
and we're gonna get on a sensitive subject, but like if you're a teacher and someone comes and shoots up the school, you might rethink teaching. Like, so this dude went down in the Sarlacc pit, was being digested, and managed to get out. You think he's like, all right, well, this is okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back, find some work. No.
No.
He saw a vacuum, a power vacuum open, and he's like, I'm taking the shit. I'm the boss now.
No, it's like, who's running Jabba's territory? Fucking Bib Fortuna? No.
Yeah.
No. It's mine. It's mine now.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I do agree though. I didn't mind the kind of cybernetic people.
The mods?
Yeah.
The Power Rangers?
It's kind of what's the term? It's blanking on me right now. The genre of like cyber shit.
Yeah. It's like cyber steampunk or steampunk.
Steampunk, cyberpunk. Yeah. Cyberpunk is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
I'm completely fine with that. But that chase scene was ridiculous.
Well, it's like they can't go too fast because they're in like a city, but we need them to go like they're going like 5 miles an hour.
It looked ridiculous. I literally, when I was watching that, were you a Seinfeld fan of the show?
No.
So you didn't really watch it?
No.
There's a scene where George pretends to be crippled because for reasons. And at some point, like he has like one of the motorized things. The motorized,
yeah.
And he like gets into an argument with some old people, and they're like, and he grabs it and starts going, and they're like, get him! And so it's this silly scene of like George on this slow ass little thing with old people chasing him. And I thought of that. And I was like, this is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Like I was fine with the cybernetic people, the mods. But that scene, I was like, you have the money to make this better.
Yeah, it was a horrible chase scene. Like, first of all, don't do a chase scene in the middle of Mos Espa. It's too crowded.
Just do a running one.
Yeah, do a running one.
A running chase scene's
Come
fine.
on.
And to be fair, that might have even been cooler because then they might have had mods and modifications
to
and shit
parkour
to where they're doing cool shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, you have this awkward ass bike.
You have your Power Ranger scooters.
That scene when people hate on it, I'm like, all right, I can't argue with you. That's
No, it was not shot great. And then what was really bad was like there was an inconsistency with like the speed.
No, you beat me to it. I was going to say that because there were some cuts where they're like zooming, and then some cuts when it's in the front, it's like they're fucking barely moving.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you could have done that better.
It's like, yeah, you guys have the technology to make things look faster than they actually are.
Yes. Because that could have actually been really dope. Because especially in a crowded city like that, a fast chase is like dangerous.
Yeah.
So that could have been dope.
Yeah.
But instead, it's like it was ridiculous. Like you can't defend that scene.
No, it's bad. And again, I think like it would have been a lot better if it would have been like a foot chase.
Yeah.
Because the mods would be parkouring off of shit and
just doing weird crap.
Just doing weird shit. Yeah, it would have been dope. Let's talk characters. Okay. Other than I would say the main ones, so Fennec, Boba, and even the Mando, who kind of like stood out as like a really cool character.
I already love Timothy Oliphant as an actor. I love him.
Yeah.
I always forget the guy's name. Cobb
Vanth. Yeah.
Cobb. I think that character is dope.
Yeah.
And if they don't do a spin-off show, because now he's going to be modded.
Yeah, now he's going to be modded.
But if they don't do a Marshall spin-off show of him just wrecking shit in the desert.
Yeah, it's going to be called Deadwood.
Cool.
Cool.
Like that, because it would fit. It's fan service. And
yeah,
everyone, I think when people say fan service, a lot of people are like have a negative connotation to it.
I'll tell you
but
right
I think
now,
fan service is fine as long as it works.
All of these shows are fan service.
But that's my point. Like Spider-Man was
fan service.
2.5 hours of fan service.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with it as long as it makes sense.
As long as it makes sense, yeah.
So I think, Timothy Oliphant already plays a badass Western Marshal in Deadwood.
Yeah.
Fucking make Cobb and just him wrecking shit. That'd be great.
If you can bring Ian McShane back to fill a role, that would be great because their dynamic in that show was fucking stellar. So I'm with you there. Cobb Vanth was great.
What's his name? I'm horrible with names. Dude from the cartoons.
Cad Bane.
Mm-hmm. That was cool. Mm-hmm. In the moment, you don't think about it, but I watched a video and it's like, this dramatic motherfucker walked that far. Like, he couldn't take a speeder.
No, there was a meme where it was like Jesus walking through the desert, and it was like
I saw one.
Cad Bane walking to.
I think it was Red Dead Redemption 2. Someone did like a quick thing where he was walking through.
Yeah.
But you don't think because it was a cool moment. Because as soon as you saw the person walking, I didn't know who it was, but I was like, this is someone.
As soon as I saw the hat.
The hat, yeah.
The white brim.
But even when like Oliphant was like kind of looking, and he's like, who is that? you knew immediately this is someone.
This is someone.
We know this person.
Yeah.
And then when you did see the brim of the hat, you're like, because I watched the cartoons just one pass through, but I didn't know the name, but I was like, I know the hat.
Yeah.
And so that as soon as the hat went up, I was like, this is cool. This is cool. And then, so let's address haters again. A lot of people started bitching online about how he didn't look like he did in the cartoon.
Yeah.
And so what was funny, my immediate thought was, did you not see Count Dooku in the cartoon?
Count Dooku looked nothing like Christopher Lee.
Awful. And then before I could even say anything, someone actually memed that already.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking idiots. But then somebody actually posted, I think it was from Phantom Menace. It was one of the movies where that species was live action.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Yeah.
It worked. So that was dumb anyway. But yeah, no, that he was cool. I was surprised they killed him.
Did they though?
Yes.
But did they though?
I know what you're saying.
Like if you watch, so the reason they like do that shot where they hover over him, they don't, like, if he was dead, you just walk away. Like, you don't hover over him like that. There was a little thing blinking on his chest.
And he does have like his own
tubes.
mod shit. Yeah. So I mean, okay.
Well, the tubes are so he can't be force choked.
Oh, I forgot that. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
The details about that. Okay, so when you notice when like he's on the ground dead,
Quote unquote. Yeah.
You see the metal plate on his head? Do you know about this?
No, I don't.
All right, so yeah, when his hat comes off, you see there's like a metal plate on his head. So Filoni did something. I want to say it was either Clone Wars or Bad Batch. I think it was Clone Wars.
I need to catch up on Bad Batch. I haven't finished that.
Where Boba Fett and Cad Bane have a duel, have a standoff.
Okay.
They both shoot each other. That's where Boba Fett got the dent in his helmet.
Oh, okay.
And that's why Cad Bane has the metal plate in his head, because he got nailed in the dome.
Okay.
They both survived, but yeah, and that was just like, that was Filoni saying, hey, call back to that scene that nobody ever saw.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think it's cool, like that dent that is so significant on Boba Fett's helmet, the one that he never got rid of.
Yeah.
That's cool that he got it from Cad Bane.
They always, they can make the connections.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so Cad Bane was dope.
Black Chrysanthemum, man. The Wookiee.
Yeah.
Love that character.
So I'm not familiar with the character. I knew he was someone.
So so Marvel started doing their comic books.
Yeah.
He was in one of those comic books, and it showed his essentially his rise from the arena to being a hired thug.
Yeah, I read a little bit about him on the Wikipedia.
The Wikipedia.
But no, he was cool. Because I guess he's one of those people. As soon as I saw him, I was like, okay, he's someone.
He's someone. He's gonna get folded into this.
Yeah, and I went and looked him up. Of course, Danny Trejo is just in it.
Of course. And he's a Rancor wrangler.
And he's in it for 5 seconds, and he's out.
Yeah.
Of course, when I saw Danny Trejo,
when Robert Rodriguez is one of your directors, you're gonna get Danny Trejo in it.
Yeah, but just when I saw Danny Trejo, I was just like, of course he's in this. Like, sometimes you see actors, you're like, oh, that person's in this. Oh my god! But as soon as I saw him, I was like, of course, Danny Trejo.
They're very sensitive. Like, okay, thank you.
Okay, Danny Trejo.
El Cucuy.
Yeah, I don't know his name in the show, but he's Danny Trejo.
I think it's just Rancor Wrangler.
He's Trejo.
Yeah, he's Trejo. Yeah.
So what was kind of cool, I'm not sure if this was intentional, but it was kind of a cool Easter egg that someone pointed out online anyway. So when he says that, he's like, Rancors are actually really like emotional, and they make emotional like connections, and they're sensitive and blah blah blah. At first I was like, that's kind of dumb, but then I saw like a meme online or something where someone's like, that actually is a throwback too.
Yeah. So when the guard,
dude was super upset
Yeah.
that the Rancor died. Because even as a kid, I was like, this guy is really emotional.
Yeah.
But then that single line, which I thought was kind of a throw off, was kind of a cool, intentional or not, throwback to that dude crying.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was like,
it was really
cool.
dope. Like, they're not just beasts. Like this was like a pet or like a cherished member of the family.
Yeah. So that was kind of a cool throwback. Because like I said, at first the line didn't really land with me. And then when I read that, I was like, okay, cool. And that's what, like, I envy Favreau to the nth degree. Just his life right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because this dude made a show just where he gets celebrities on and fucks around in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Chef show.
Great show, by the way.
Yeah, he's wrecked shit in Marvel and Star Wars. Wrecked shit in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just a fanboy.
Doing what he wants.
No,
yeah.
So this is why I'm jealous. So as a fanboy, sometimes I'm like I want to write fan fiction or do something or contribute. this motherfucker's fan fiction is canon. You know what I'm saying?
This is stuff that he's probably taking the time to, like, when he was like maybe, you know, teens or early 20s, just writing fanfic. He's like, it'd be cool to see Boba Fett kind of take over Jabba's territory.
Yeah, no,
and then he's like, oh, what? Disney's gonna let me do this?
Oh, this is absolutely Favreau fanboying out, and his fan fiction in his head. He's like, well,
yeah. Well, it's like, and it's like, okay, so like you can't just have a show about Boba Fett being a bounty hunter just killing people willy nilly. You kind of have to make him relatable. And that's why I think they did the turn they did with him.
Yeah.
Like he becomes the member of this tribe, and it's cool. He can still, you know, be, you know, mindless gun for hire. And then you take that family away from him.
Well, that
and it becomes Taken.
So yeah, and I related that episode. You gave up on The Walking Dead, right?
I did. Yeah.
Did you see the episode? I think we were talking online about this the other day. The episode where Morgan comes across.
I didn't see that episode because that happened after I left.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
But to those who haven't seen it, I always forget the actor's name. Drew Carey's older brother in the Drew Carey show. He's a great actor. I just always forget his name. Morgan's lost his mind, and he comes across him, and it's just the two of them the entire episode.
Yeah.
There's no one else in the show. And it's kind of the guy bringing him back, saying all life is precious because Morgan was just killing everything. Mm-hmm. And he like trains him like this defensive fighting style. And you see Morgan like just evolve in one episode, and it was so well written. Even people who hated the show is like, that episode could be its own movie. Mm-hmm. Like, it was so good. And so the Sand People, because I know it wasn't just one episode, but like the Sand People story, sorry, I hit the mic, that was really good on its own. Like, that could have been the Boba Fett movie.
Yeah, no, that would have been
what happens.
Badass. Like, he just it was a Last Samurai moment. Like,
yeah,
he's taken prisoner, and then he ultimately kind of, and this isn't just something like Hollywood makes up. This would actually happen in you know, Native American tribes. Like, they would take you on as a slave. You would, you know, spend your time as a slave, and ultimately they would ingratiate you into the community. Mm-hmm. It's
not a new concept, yeah.
Yeah, they would either marry you off, or you would prove yourself in some way. Mm-hmm. Outlander, they did this in Outlander. When young Ian joins the tribe, he goes through that test of manhood and immediately passes and is absorbed into the tribe.
Yeah.
And I thought that
was a really cool story.
That was a really cool story. And like, he not only like he proves himself, but then he takes it a step further and starts like learning their combat style and you know, leading them to like, hey, I know how this stuff works. If you know, help me, we can wreck shit. And
so that was cool. I do think they could have done a show about Boba Fett just going on bounties. Mm-hmm. But they already did with The Mandalorian.
Yeah, that was essentially the first 3 episodes of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, so that's why in my head that wouldn't be a good idea. So it could very much be almost like a mystery of the week, the bounty of the week.
Yeah.
This episode he's going after this guy. This episode he's going after that guy. Mm-hmm. Almost like like I said, your case of the week shows, your NCIS. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And all that shit where you have your case of the week. Pretty much. They could have done that way, and to be honest, that could have been fun.
Could have been.
It could have taken place before Return or before Empire Strikes Back when we see Boba. It could be before that where he's just doing bounties. That could have been cool, but doesn't really make sense in the context of the story. Because like we said earlier, like he comes out of the Starlight Pit, like I'm done. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing that shit anymore.
Exactly.
Truth be told, kind of off topic, when he first appeared in The Mandalorian, I thought it was going to be a clone.
Well, I mean,
when I saw the actor, I was like, "Oh, a clone, cool."
No, but it's Boba Fett, man.
No, and that's fine. I don't like the constant like, did he die? Did he really die? He didn't die. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So when he was Boba Fett, I was like, no, just let him be dead. I was against it at first. Now I'm okay with it, but like that's why I thought it was like, oh, it's a clone.
Yeah.
Because like I haven't caught up on Bad Batch, but like a lot of clones did move on, and
so. If memory serves, as soon as like the Empire was set up, they got rid of the clones.
Yeah,
they wiped them out.
Yeah, and there were some that got away though.
Pretty much the ones we see at the end of the Clone Wars who like help Ahsoka. So like I think it was Rex, Fives. There's a couple of them. They all removed their behavioral chips.
Yeah,
so that they didn't partake in Order 66. So they're still alive somewhere in the canon. And
who was it? Rex. One of them appears in Rebels, right?
Yes, I think it is. I think it's Rex Fives, and I think a couple others.
Yeah, because they were working like that crane or that thing.
Yeah, they're doing something, but yeah, they help out Kanan and the group. What I was gonna say is Tamara Morrison has said, "I'm open to playing the clones again."
Why wouldn't, dude? That guy, that lucky motherfucker, he was playing like a one-off character in the Attack of the Clones, like, and then years later they're like, "Hey, man,
we need you to play
you
clones.
want to hop on board?" He's like, "Fuck yeah, like, hell yeah."
But yeah, and he said like, so I'm thinking when Ahsoka comes out,
yeah, he'll probably
be playing either Rex or Fives or one of the clones that survived.
Sure. No, I think I'm looking forward to Ahsoka. I'll be honest with you. I think we reviewed it. We reviewed Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, we reviewed it.
So going on with the whole Star Wars thing, I was excited for it too. I don't think I'm gonna like the Obi-Wan show.
Why? Because they're bringing back Hayden Christensen.
I have no hate on Hayden Christensen. Those movies weren't bad because of him. He was bad because of the movie.
Yes.
So I don't hate on him at all.
I don't like sand.
Such a dumb. When
this is what happens when you let George Lucas write a script.
Write dialogue.
Yeah.
Like he could have written that script and just gave it to somebody else. Said this and just wrote the descriptions of the conversation and just gave the dialogue.
Do this better.
Yeah. Like when Natalie Portman looks like a bad actress, you're breaking my heart.
Yeah.
Like this shit's bad.
Shit's bad.
No, I was gonna say is I just so this is where I'm kind of gonna sound like one of those fanboys, but like in my head it makes sense that. Well, one, it is kind of dumb that Obi-Wan takes Luke to that family. Because, like, Anakin would know.
No, he wouldn't.
That would be the first place I'd look. Like, if you were on the run right now.
Okay, so first things first. Anakin didn't know his babies were born. He thought they died with Padme.
Touche. Okay, fine. But in the way I've imagined it is like, yeah, so Obi-Wan goes to look after Luke. And he's just a hermit. And he's chilling. Because, like, there's really no reason in that case that anyone would bug Luke. Until in Rebels. When, the blue-haired dude.
Thrawn?
No, the kid. The Jedi kid. Doesn't the Jedi kid seek out Obi-Wan using the Force? The kid that Kanan is training.
Oh yeah. Ezra.
Yeah. He finds Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul uses that to confront Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and they have their final duel, which, God, I hope they come back with that.
I think that needs to happen.
That needs to happen.
Because I'm not a huge fan, because a lot of those cartoons to me, like, were geared to kids. So, like, some of the episodes, I'm just like, fuck, like, just get to the story. And when the story episodes, I dug.
Yeah.
So, like, that scene was cool. I was like, awesome. And so if they remade that one, great. That'd be amazing. But, like, they're saying that, like, Darth Vader is going to be, like, a big part of it.
Yeah, and they're gonna have another epic showdown.
And that's what I mean, though. Like, and it might be cool, and I hope I'm proven wrong. But in my head, it makes sense for Obi-Wan just to be this desert guy now.
Yeah.
And he pops out once to fight Darth Maul because Darth Maul shows up. But other than that, his story should be boring. It should be a boring story.
Yeah, it should be him, doing a lot of Force meditation. Communing with Qui-Gon, Yoda. Well, no, Yoda's not dead at this point.
But I guess he could still talk to him.
Yeah. Maybe, honestly, and this would be dope, they show that Mace Windu's still alive.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a second.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm excited because I'm going to see better and more awesome lightsaber combat again.
Sure.
The sequel series did an okay job of it.
Because the original series, did you ever watch the Red Letter Media reviews, Mr. Plinkett?
Yeah.
So he talked about it, where it's like, and everyone else does too, where like the original Star Wars fights were very simple.
They were blocky.
But it wasn't driven by the action; it was driven by the emotion.
Yeah.
To where like when Luke loses his shit, he's just swinging everywhere. And it worked. It was a little blocky, but it worked. It was more about the emotional thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the prequels, it was just a fucking light show.
Yeah.
They're doing flips. I got annoyed even as a kid.
I liked it. It was fun.
No, it was fun, but I remember I got annoyed during the Duel of the Fates. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Because there were some moves in that were just like, this is fucking stupid.
I remember even when I saw it, I was like, Obi-Wan, if you did not do that stupid ass spin, you could have stabbed him. Like you're losing this fight on your own.
Yeah.
Like, And then, so the point was the original ones were very subtle. The prequels were very over the top.
Yeah.
And then the sequels were kind of met in the middle.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
To a point. But so yeah, I think that if with this one they'll go back to the subtle fights.
The blocky kind of.
Not as blocky, but you're not flipping and doing force jumps and doing all this crazy
No, I
shit.
don't think they'll do like the flippies and spinnies, but like I would like to see some good like
just good choreography.
Reasonable choreography.
That's what I'm saying. I think you're right in that regard.
So like the samurai fights in The Last Samurai.
Yes.
That was great choreography.
Yeah, and it was realistic.
It was realistic.
You're not doing stupid ass spins.
Yeah, you're not doing spins.
Throwback to Boba Fett. That was a dumb spin. No one can defend that shit.
That's so stupid. It was
no
like
one
so
defend
unneeded.
it, and I've seen people defend it. No, it was
he did
dumb.
it to throw off their aim. He stood in the same spot and twirled.
Yeah, I remember even as it happened, I was like, "What?"
A hit is a hit.
Yeah. Anyway, but back to the Obi-Wan. Yeah. I hope I'm proven wrong, and I think you're right. Like they know what they're doing.
Well, who's? It's Kathleen Kennedy that's running this one, right?
I don't know. I hope not. I hope Favreau is just in charge of everything.
I want him to be. I want them to kick Kathleen Kennedy out and put Favreau in charge.
Because at least Favreau, like I don't know a lot about Kennedy, but I feel like she's just an exec, whereas Favreau,
well, I mean, she's been doing the Star Wars movies since I want to say the 80s.
Oh, so she's been on. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I feel like she's probably more of an exec, like what's gonna sell tickets.
Yeah.
To where Favreau's like, I'm a fanboy. Like this is what people want to see. So either way, I hope I'm proven wrong. I'm just my favorite part so far, and I've told you this already off camera, was the interview with Ewan McGregor when they announced Obi-Wan, and he's like, yeah, this has been in the pocket for like a decade, and he's like, and I have not been allowed to tell anyone for a decade. He's like, when they announced it, it was so much weight off my shoulders. Yeah. He's like, now I can tell people, yeah, like this has been in the works since the prequels.
Yeah,
like that long. That they wanted to do an Obi-Wan story. And just seeing him excited to play it again, I was like, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't want to say it launched his career, but it really put him on the map.
I would say especially with American audiences.
Yeah.
It probably put him
on. Oh, yeah,
because he was in with that drug one.
Trainspotting.
He was in stuff.
Yeah.
But then that was the one that's like, oh, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think from the little bit like I've seen, because I don't know him obviously, but I feel like certain roles, you could tell that he enjoys playing them. I feel like that role, he was like, I like this. This is cool.
I was like watching him like when he like got to set, like the first time he gets to pick his lightsaber, and like just how excited he was, be like, oh no, I like that one.
And it wasn't he the one that like Lucas, whoever, had to say like, hey, like the sounds will be in post.
Well, yeah,
because he kept going.
Like the way like they represent it's like they make it sound like it was a bigger problem than it actually was.
No, of course.
But there was
the story I heard wasn't that it was a big issue. It was more of like a charming thing that like he was so into it. He was like,
well, both him and Hayden Christensen would make the sounds as they were fighting. Yeah.
See that would be like,
because how are you supposed to, like, you're fulfilling one of your as a kid, like your greatest fantasy is to be a Jedi. Like, no, and like they're doing it now.
Yeah, I never read it as like a serious issue. It was more of like a funny thing.
A funny thing, yeah.
Like I think Lucas was probably like, okay, guys, remember,
don't make sounds.
We're on a time frame here. No, yeah. So Obi-Wan, I hope I'm wrong about. I'm looking forward to Ahsoka because I think Ahsoka is one. The clones will come in, and I think it'll be the first time we see like the Gray Jedi.
The Gray Jedi?
A Gray Jedi, sorry.
Oh, yeah, Ahsoka, you mean?
Ahsoka, yeah. Because, I mean, she's kind of been in it, but she's more been representing kind of the more Jedi path.
Yeah.
But now it's like, because her whole thing, she's going after Thrawn still, right?
Yeah, she's going after Thrawn. Well, because Thrawn has Ezra, or Ezra has Thrawn, whoever.
Yeah.
The way I never watched Rebels, so I don't really know, but I know that
it's some
Thrawn and Ezra are tied together somehow.
Yeah, I forgot. I did watch it. I kind of forgot how it ended. Maybe I should have watched it before we talked. But
Ezra has like this ability to time travel or something?
So he
like there's a time wolf or something?
When I remember in the show, and if we do get fanboys watching this shit, they're gonna be like, you're wrong, you got but I remember he like went to this temple to where it was like doorways to different time spots.
And I remember
time.
like because when he went to the Sith temple to get the Sith holocron, Ahsoka showed up to fight Vader. And then he left her and then was watching that happen
and grabbed her
as she was about to die.
Yeah, so there's that, and then that's when a lot of these people started saying like they could retcon the sequel series by using that temple. They could say it never happened, and so that all these people were thinking of these ideas. I don't think
it's not going to happen.
None of that's going to happen.
You're not going to retcon a multi-billion-dollar.
I actually think it would be a smart move because that's 3 more movies that they're going to bank on.
It's true.
Strictly business wise, it's a smart move. Because Star Wars fans who like the sequels are going to go see them because they're Star Wars, and the people who hate them are going to go see them because they hated the previous one, so they're going to see it.
Maybe.
But no, that temple's not going to happen. But I do think it'll be. So we'll see Thrawn live action, which I think is going to be cool.
Yeah, I think they got Ray Stevenson.
Okay.
To play Thrawn.
That's cool.
From what I've seen, I don't think they have announced that he is. I think they're just like they're putting 2 and 2 together.
Kind of the rumors.
Yeah.
I thought Fassbender would have been a good Thrawn.
Fassbender would have been a great Thrawn.
Yeah.
But I don't think Fassbender would be like, I'm not working for Disney. I'm not working for Disney.
But no, seeing Ezra, because Ezra annoyed me.
He's supposed to. He's a fucking prepubescent.
I thought what they were going for was like, oh, he's young and he's stupid, but he's charming. And I was just like,
he's not charming.
I was like, this guy's annoying.
He's Anakin Skywalker.
Well, I tend to not like those characters anyway.
Yeah.
Like Rose in The Last Jedi. And I'm not one of those people who like trashed her personally.
Yeah.
Because you know she got bullied off the internet. I'm not one of those people. She's a fine actress. That character was just dumb.
Yeah.
I want to make that clear. I'm not attacking her. The character was stupid and not well written.
Yeah.
I tend not to like those characters anyway. The sort of charming sidekick who's innocent and just wants to love everyone. Like I've never dug those characters.
Yeah.
Until they die.
Until they die. Yeah. Then it's something that means something. Yeah.
What was it? No, until they die because I'm happy they're dead. Like what was the first Mark Wahlberg Transformers movie? I always forget his name.
Age of Extinction.
He was and his buddy who was in it, and he's in
T.J. Miller.
T.J. Miller.
Yeah,
I don't mind T.J. Miller, but like in that movie, I was like, this fucking guy is horrible. And then so when he died, I was like, I think that was supposed to be the moment, like, no, we all love him, he's dead. And I was like, cool.
This I can watch the rest
like
of this movie
now. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, Ahsoka's gonna be dope.
I think so.
I think Ahsoka's gonna be dope.
I think it should be really good. So I want to say with Obi-Wan, they said there are going to be Inquisitors. So there's
which I think could be cool.
That's what we need. We need somebody for him to fight, and an Inquisitor is the best thing because there's only 2 Sith now, and it's either it's going to be Obi-Wan just killing a bunch of stormtroopers, or
make it interesting.
You got to make it interesting, so throw in the Inquisitors.
And I'm not. This is not a criticism. I've always liked the concept of the Inquisitors because it's the Sith just being hypocrites.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be 2 Sith, okay? So then
these aren't Sith. These are Dark Jedis.
They're not us.
They're not us.
Like it's like, oh, you're kind of full of shit.
You're kind of splitting hairs there, man.
It's like I'm not hiring any more bartenders. Well, he's pouring beer and he's making drinks. No, he's the bar porter. He's just the beer pourer.
He's the bar Inquisitor.
He's a pouring barback. Like, and so, but I actually liked that.
Yeah,
because it shows. Because the rule of 2 is dumb.
It's stupid.
I get it.
Not, but it is.
I understand. Was it Darth Bane?
Darth Bane, yeah.
Who made it? And I remember I read about it, and I was like, okay, like I understand the concept, but I was like, it is kind of dumb because they break their own rule.
Constantly.
That's
the whole point of the Sith. Is like they don't follow rules.
I'm not saying it's like I'm not criticizing it. Like that's just a dumb concept. I just think like it's a great concept because like of course the Sith would create this rule to survive and then just constantly break it.
Yeah.
Like because the Inquisitors, they're Sith.
They're Sith.
They're just like, no, we're gonna call them something else. We're just gonna not.
Well, and it's like Vader had an apprentice.
Yes.
Palpatine had multiple apprentices.
Yeah. And I love that because just I'm a logic person, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say I have a tough time. I'm turning to the dark side, and here comes a Sith Lord, and he starts training me. I'm like, this makes sense. And he's like, also, here's the rule of 2. I'd be like, so one of us is gonna die.
Well, that's that. So like that was like the whole rule of 2 was like 1 Sith because the Sith are always power hungry. So one is going to kill the other one always, and it's usually going to be the apprentice kills the master.
But that's my point. I get it. But in my head, I'm like, so one of us is gonna die.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. But like I'm not about it. And I get that's kind of part of the religion is because I even was it not Palpatine? I think I was reading about it might have been Darth Bane that someone was like when his apprentice was about to kill him, he's like, okay, yeah, this is the way. It's my time.
This is the way.
But you know what I mean? Like, so it's part of their religion that like, yes,
Yeah.
my apprentice, if he kills me, I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but like,
Could have been.
Could have been, but like, that's where as soon as the Rule of Two came out, as a logical person, I'm like, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll go gray.
Yeah. I'm gonna go gray.
But no, I've always been. I forgot who I was talking to. I said like there should be more gray Jedi stories. People who didn't like the Jedi Order, Siths who were like fuck this, and did their own thing.
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated with that, and I hope when Ahsoka's show, they kind of touch on that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they will because she's a Jedi.
Well, it's she's not. I mean, and like even in that episode where in Rebels where she fights Vader, you know, she's talking about like saving Anakin, and it's like Vader says Anakin's dead, and she says I'll avenge him, and Vader then says revenge is not the Jedi way, and she just looks dead in the eye and says I'm not a Jedi. Okay,
I do remember that scene. That was cool. But so I hope they touch on that, and I do think in this, and who knows going forward, like Star Killer, all these other Jedi characters, I think would be cool if they brought them in. Yep. And I like how it started with Rogue One, because what I liked about Rogue One is Rogue One was the first movie that connected the cartoons to the movies, because they had what's his name from the prequels, Leia's dad,
Bail Organa.
Yeah, they had him from the prequels.
Mon Mothma.
Mon Mothma. They had Forrest Whitaker's character. I'm blanking on his name. From the cartoons. Like, so they did bring all these characters from different mediums together, and I was like, that's cool. And then with the shows, they're doing that as well. And I think it's just awesome that that's a thing.
Yeah,
that's cool. Like even what was it Cad Bane? Like that was dope.
Yeah,
just the cameo.
Well, you got to expect that if Dave Filoni's in charge of a project, like you're going to see some Clone Wars characters popping up here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be cool going forward. Like I said, Obi-Wan, I'm just kind of skeptical about, depending on what they do with it. I'm sure they'll do with it fine. I'm just kind of skeptical. But Ahsoka, I'm looking forward to. I'm not interested in what's his name from.
Cassian Andor.
Yeah. I'm not. I know they want to do a show with him, and
I don't. Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Like his arc was good in Rogue One. That's it. I don't need.
That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know.
I do need more of K2SO though.
That's the droid, right?
The droid, yeah.
Yeah. What I've heard talk, and you can confirm or tell me I'm wrong. Aren't they talking with what's his name to be Lando again?
The Donald Glover?
Yeah.
Probably. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Because that's what we haven't. I don't think we talked about it here. I didn't like Solo. I mean, it was fun. It was a fun movie.
I liked it,
but I didn't like it, or I wasn't in favor because I was like, we don't need this movie. If they made a Lando movie, I think they made a Lando movie, and Han Solo was the supporting character.
Yeah.
And so I've heard, it could be just all baseless, but I've heard rumors that they're going to talk to him about playing Lando again.
Interesting.
And I think that was great. So I think he nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Star Wars. Anything else?
I think we pretty much hit everything that we were going to hit. Yeah.
What other? There are other. Are they doing a live Bad Batch?
No.
I thought for some
reason. I
reason
haven't heard anything about a live Bad Batch.
But then there was something going forward that was in the Ahsoka Mandalorian Boba Fett connection, and I forgot. It was like the Rangers of something.
Oh yeah. It was Galactic Rangers or something like that.
Yeah, I really don't know what it's about, but I know it's going to include Boba Fett and the Mandalorians. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like Mandalorians who are.
No, because they're going to be working for the Republic, the New Republic. Might just be Republic Rangers. I don't know.
And then I think I read that they're doing a movie about the Old Republic.
Yes.
Like a trilogy or something.
Yes.
Yeah, which I think would be cool.
Yeah.
I think they should do. They won't do it. I think they should do some like dark, gritty Sith shit.
They should.
Like Darth Bane's story.
Like a Game of Thrones kind of.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That'd be dope. About how the Sith like. And it would essentially be the story of how they came to the Rule of Two.
Yeah, because and you probably know better than me. We should have had Maxwell or Derek on this too.
Yeah.
But I haven't read the books, but I'll read the wiki, like the Cliff Notes, and like how like there was like a Sith civil war, like they were just murking each other left and right.
Yep.
And so finally Darth Bane's like, this shit's not working.
Yeah.
Like that would be a dope miniseries, like you said, Game of Thrones style.
Yeah.
Where these dark motherfuckers are just knocking each other off until Darth Bane steps up. Like that would be dope.
Yeah.
Never happen.
That will
never happen. Maybe a video game.
I'd like to see like a Darth Revan story.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he might show up in the Old Republic show. Don't know. Be dope if he did.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool characters that like, and that's what it won't happen. Like Disney won't go down those dark roads.
They won't.
I don't think, unless like, cause I know they're allowing Deadpool to be R-rated.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe though, but it's Star Wars, so it's not like they're gonna go R-rated with Star Wars or dark with Star Wars.
No,
as we saw in the sequel trilogies.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have. But yeah, so looking forward to that.
Yeah,
I can see them doing a video game, like a Sith-based video game.
Yeah, I'd be down with that.
The Oculus that I recently bought, the Darth Vader game in that, you're not like dark side, but like you kind of get trained by him.
Oh,
so that's kind of cool.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening to us ramble.
Yeah, that was pretty much 50 minutes of rambling.
Yeah. So catch you next time.
See ya.
Yeah. Bye.